Hey, what's up guys? The Explanation Pro is here. Today, I'll explain a drama sci-fi movie, Restart the Earth. Spoilers incoming. The movie begins with a child, Yuan Yuan, distressingly calling out for her parents as people pass her by. The world is in chaos. Trees and undergrowth stretching and enlarge at an alarming rate, destroying major cities around the globe. The plants have come to life. Not that it was dead before, but it evolved rapidly. It becomes like a sentient being and begins attacking not only humans, but all kinds of animal life forms as well. Cities, rural and urban areas are left in ruins, and the atmosphere is no longer stable. Some plants have grown so enormous that it exceeds the stratosphere. Calling enormous is an understatement. A year later, plants have occupied more than 80% of the landmass, which causes a huge threat to civilization. At the present, Yang Hao goes after his daughter Yan Yan as she hallucinates seeing her puppy. Yang Hao shouts to his daughter that her dog is long dead, but her daughter ignores him. The puppy runs off, and the naive child follows after it. Yang Hao catches up as he feared a predatory plant is present. The carnivorous plant pulses like a heart and has snake-like tentacles that catch its prey. Yang Hao grabs his daughter, then runs in the opposite direction. The tentacles stop their pursuit when it's hit by sunlight. Yang Hao was able to escape and retreat to a safe house. He turns on the UV lights around the house to keep any meat-eating plant away. He turns on the radio and tries different frequencies, hoping to get a hold of someone. Deep into the night, Yang Hao and his daughter are fast asleep. While asleep, he dreams of the past. He and his wife were stuck in traffic with Yan Yan in the back. Yang Hao's wife was a scientist who was working on a project to solve desertification. Then, a crowd of people are going in the opposite direction, as if running from something horrific. At the same time, the wife gets a call from a colleague stating that the vitality index of the plants has increased significantly and it's out of control. Yang Hao gets out of the car to check the situation and sees a plant growing fast from afar. Yan Yan screams for help, wakes Yang Hao. The protective father runs to his daughter's aid. When he opens the curtain, he sees the plant made a hole from the floor below and takes Yan Yan. Not wasting any time, he quickly grabs his bag and tracks his daughter at the building ruins. Yan Yan was able to fend off the ferocious vines using a UV flashlight just in time for her dad to arrive. The quick-thinking Yang Hao slashes the wood-covered window using his kukri to expose the room to sun. This made the damaged herbage back off, but it knocks out Yang Hao in the same time. As Yang Hao was being dragged by the vine, Li Mo runs to the rescue, cutting off the clinging plant using calculated moves and a Chinese short sword. She then calls for backup, and a team of professionally uniformed and armed men make their entrance. Some of the guys were firing at the plant using guns. Guns versus plants don't seem very practical, but it works. The leader of the group signals another soldier, Gui, and he immediately changes to his secondary weapon of choice, a freaking flamethrower. It wasn't enough. The plant's only withdrawal within a larger UV machine was activated by 21, an obese soldier that's also part of the rescue crew. After the commotion, Yang Hao gives thanks to his rescuers. If it wasn't for this squad, he'd be plant fertilizer. They introduce themselves as an operating team of the joint forces. Seems legit. They have the skills to match the rugged look. To break the tension, 21, the fatso IT guy on the squad, eats an egg raw. Well, that's one way to eat a snack. The third command center of the joint forces radios the operating team. Fang Yong reports that the transport case containing the Agentia was damaged and it leaked. This compromised the mission, and so Fang Yong decided to go with Plan B, which is go to the nearest P4 lab and secure another Agentia. This led to the encounter with a ragtag squad, Yang Hao and his daughter. 21 explains the situation to Yang Hao. The Central Academy of Sciences has been monitoring the plants, and it has formed a huge root network 10.3 kilometers underground, giving them a hint of a second global tide storm. Once it breaks out, approximately 93% of current survivors on the whole planet will meet their doom, and the squad has less than 54 hours to stop it. The only means of stopping it is by launching the N11 maleic hydrazide Agentia. It's like a sedative for plants, a permanent one. The plan is to launch the Agentia in all 47 launch sites. It won't work if it fails in one of the stations, and so to guarantee success, 3 alternate teams are working on each station, a total of 141 teams working globally. A contingency plan for a failed contingency plan, Planception. Afterward, they continue on with their mission. An encounter with a large snake-like vine killed Lei and So. Yang Hao was asked to replace their fallen comrade. Yang Hao understands mechanical power well, and the leader deemed him qualified. He only has the safety of his daughter in mind and declines the request. This made Old Ghost extremely angry. He got angry at the thought of his comrade sacrificing himself to save Yan Yan and her father, at the thought of him being so selfish for not accompanying them for the greater good, and at the thought of that they will have a harder time without an engineer. Yan Yan, on the other hand, inherits the fighting spirit of her late mother. She convinces her dad to change his mind. The team of 8, including Yan Yan, journeys on. Then a warning goes off. 21 monitors his gadget, and it indicates that there's a large biological activity below. The earth below their feet cracks, and some building ruins start to shake sideways while others are falling. The party runs for their lives as they see the green tide from the distance. The green tide is basically a fast-paced avalanche of deadly shrubs and earth. Back to the killer tide, the guys are running like hell. The leaders ask their tech guy, 21, for directions, and he signals to go straight since there's no obstruction. Rookie mistake. He was looking at an upside-down screen. In reality, the path ahead was a dead end. Having no choice, they decide to run towards a rundown bus. Stone stumbles while the ground splits. He throws the Agentia to Ye-Yan, knowing that he won't make it. He was always trying to impress Ye-Yan before the green tide, and even in his last moment, after throwing the Agentia to Ye-Yan, he smiled and stayed cool before being crushed to death by a large root. Maybe he didn't want Ye-Yan's last memory of him to be screaming for help. Limo pulls Ye-Yan to the bus, where all the guys are buckled up. 21 had a hard time buckling his seatbelt due to his big, fat stomach. The green tide catches up. Fortunately, the bus was riding the deadly vegetation tide like a surfboard on a semi-rough wave. As the bus was about to reach a cliff, and the green tide finished in that area, it plunges into a building. As they move out of the bus, the team mourns the death of Stone. He was like a brother to many, and a would-be lover to Ye-Yan. The mission goes on, but would take another life later. As the group crosses an improvised bridge, Yan falls due to the shaking caused by the green tide. The leader was able to catch her, but the rope couldn't carry both of their weights. Yan reminded the leader of his daughter. The two look alike. Having a soft spot for Yan, he sacrifices himself to save Yan by cutting off the rope. A true leader, hero, and martyr. Later on, a global broadcast from the High Command of the Joint Command Center, the Central Academy of Sciences discovers a symbiotic relationship between the root network of underground plants and microbes, building a protective barrier in their periphery. While local green tides were induced in various places, even if the large-scale rollout is successful, it would be tough to break through the barrier and it would be useless. The High Command opted to cancel the major launch operation after a vote. This frustrates many of the teams that are part of the operation around the world. They've tried to study alternatives that might be a beam of hope for the operation, but none is likely to work. Hence, they have to surrender the operation and escape to the sea. When everyone loses hope, Yang Hao addresses everybody listening to the broadcast. He gave a speech that encourages everyone to at least try and hope for success. This gave hope to the Joint Command, and many of the teams, including the one that he's on, voluntarily proceeded with the mission, knowing that there's a 0.03% chance of success. The team set off, this time with a glimmer of hope. It even made Old Ghost, a member of Lomi's team, to be friendly with Yang Hao. They continue to traverse through rough terrain, and eventually reach the D-16 launch station. At the D-16 gate, 21 opens the gate through his wrist computer. Lomi commands 21 to debug the computer and to proceed with the launch sequence. Another problem arises: power failure. They can't connect to the control systems without power. Good thing they have Yang Ho. He's like a lucky charm on the team. He was able to turn the power on, but there's a catch. Always a catch in this troubled world. They can still proceed with the launch, but the defense system is damaged. Once the green tide breaks out and the plants go inside, they will all die. Speak of the devil, what 21 said came true. A green tide is inbound, and they have no time left. Without hesitation, the team prepares the launch sequence. Old Ghost opens a container and puts the Agentia in a metallic contraption. Subsequently, other launch stations have already finished injecting the Agentia. The big rocket-like machine outside goes live and commences countdown. The rocket machine launches downward, digs deep into the earth. Lomi and the others watch from the monitoring screen from the site. Just like what the High Command predicted earlier, the Agentia is being blocked by the thick roots. At the ocean, the Navy is using nuclear submarines to penetrate the weakest layer of the seabed. A submarine crew loads the torpedoes into a chamber, and the commander presses a button to fire them. The powerful torpedoes hit the seabed and causes an underwater explosion that ripples to the surface. Despite everything that was launched, it wasn't enough destructive power. The underground root system was affected, but it didn't break through the tough plant barrier. Yang Hao has another idea. Given that the station they're in is powered by geothermal energy from a volcano beneath them, and that the magma is unstable due to the moving large plants, they will use the volcano against the flora. It's a brilliant idea, using Mother Nature against itself. 21 prepares it, but another dilemma. They can't control the maintenance systems remotely, and so the crew proceeds to manually set it off using a bomb. Upon reaching the designated floor, they are all greeted by lovely and lively killer vines. While fending them off, Old Ghost was killed in the process. The movie ends with Yang Hao holding the C4 bomb. He was always calculating his every move from the start. He thought with the 9 minutes set on the bomb, both of them would make it, and so he locks himself in, leaving Lomi on the other side of the gate, leaving Yan in Lomi's care. The ultimate sacrifice, saving the planet and countless lives. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. See you in the next video.